Don't forget, tomorrow, our big Halloween episode. Wish us luck on that one. Welcome back. No one enjoys waking up in the middle of the night after having a bad old nightmare. Even though they can be disruptive and they can cause you stress, there can be a good side to those bad dreams. Here to explain, audience, give it up for one of our favorites, the dream lady, Lauri Loewenberg, everybody. Welcome back, Lauri.
Hello. Thank you for having me back.
Oh, no, we love you. I got to credit my fave, Fallon. Fallon brought you to us, and you're just the best. Let's start. I love this topic of nightmares. Let's start with a broad question. Is there something specific? Is there a recipe of things that causes nightmares compared to just a good old-fashioned dream?
Yes, actually, your nightmares are caused by your most difficult real-life issues. The things that trouble you, that you're having a hard time seeing yourself get through. That's why nightmares are so upsetting, because they are connected to that which upsets you in real life.
So there's a direct thing between what's happening in your life and that you can actually cause nightmares. Am I hearing you right?
Yes. Dreams are reactionary. They follow the day. So whatever is upsetting you during the day, whatever you feel powerless against during the day, sometimes it can even be something from way back when, but it's still affecting you today. It will show up in your dreams at night because your wise subconscious mind is trying to help you work through it. So it's shining a spotlight on this issue that it wants you to correct.
Like, for instance, if you thought you were going to a dog Halloween costume party, but yet you're taken to a talk show. I'm just joking. Anyway, yeah. Now, nightmares can actually be good for you, right?
They are good for you because they are basically forcing you to confront, to face your difficult issues, sometimes your trauma. Forcing you to work through it, to process it, to correct it, so that it is no longer lingering in your psyche and haunting you.
Let's go through some common nightmare themes. And again, audience, this is broadly speaking. Let's go through what some of them might mean, could mean. Probably the most common, death or murder popping up in a nightmare. What does that typically mean, my friend?
Yes, so these are so concerning because they feel real. And we go through the grief and the fear, and then we worry, am I seeing the future? Well, no, remember, always dreams are symbolic. They are metaphors. So if you dream of death, of yourself or a loved one, it's about something changing or ending within you or within your relationship with that person. So it's the way your dreaming mind is showing you, kind of helping you grasp the finality of this change so you can let go. Now, murder is also about an ending or a change that's happening in your life or within you, but it's a forced change, just like murder is a forced death as opposed to a natural death. So if you dream of murder, if you're being murdered, what change is happening that you're resisting?
Next, this is a typical one, falling.
Yes, the falling dream is the #1 most common dream. There's even cave drawing depictions of what we believe are falling dreams. So you'll get the falling dream when something in your life is going in the wrong direction. You want to find yourself going up in a dream because that usually represents progress. Going down is the opposite. Things aren't working out. Plans are falling through. You can even get this dream when you're about to fall into a bout of depression. So it's a heads up, it's a warning to prepare and make sure you surround yourself with people that make you laugh, go see a funny movie.
Yeah.
It can be good for you.
One more, and then we'll take a break and on more on the other side. Another popular one, being chased in a nightmare.
Yes, if you're being chased in a dream, that means there's something going on in your real life that you are running from. It could be a responsibility, maybe you're procrastinating, maybe you have the behavior pattern of avoiding confrontation. So ask yourself, if you get this dream, what am I trying to distance myself from in real life, or what am I trying to get out of? What am I trying to avoid?
When we come back, what's a sleep demon and how to deal with your kids' nightmares? More with Lauri when we return. Back in a moment, everybody.
Let's make it a good day.
One of my favorites, Lauri Loewenberg, is our guest today. We're talking all things dream. Get a hold of her for your own analysis there. Well, okay, dear friend, a couple more topics and we're going to talk celebrities. I think I've experienced one of these. Can you tell the folks about a sleep demon?
Okay, the sleep demon. It's horrifying to experience, but it's completely not harmful. It's fine. So the sleep demon is when you're lying in your bed and you're kind of in between awake and asleep. You think you're awake, but it also kind of feels like a dream. And you feel pressure on your chest. Sometimes it's hard to breathe. You cannot move. And there's this dark, sinister presence in the room. And some people perceive it as a demon. Some perceive it as a ghost. Some perceive it as an alien. Sometimes you even hear it whisper in your ear. And so what that is, back in medieval times, they called it the old hag syndrome because they perceived it as a witch. So what it is, it happens when you are having a very fitful night of sleep. And then you get stuck in the in-between state, which is called hypnagogia. So you are asleep and awake at the same time. And your body is trying to wake up, but your brain hasn't activated your skeletal muscles yet. Because when we dream, we are paralyzed so that we don't get up and act out the dream. So you're stuck briefly in this in-between state. And it's kind of scary because the amygdala, the very center of the brain, the fear center of the brain is highly active. But it's harmless. And just now that you know what it is when it happens, relax. You'll be out of it like that.
Lauri, I had one of these. I lived in a townhouse. This was like 12 years ago. And I was now I know what it was. And there was a black shadowy figure on the ceiling and I couldn't move. And I ended up, I said the next day I looked at Colin, I go, we're moving. I mean, there's a demon in our house and we're moving and we moved. And now I realize I didn't have to move. Anyway.
You didn't have to move.
Yeah. Children's nightmares, typically, again, broadly speaking, what do they mean? And if you're a parent watching, can you do anything about them?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So if your child is having nightmares occasionally, that's perfectly normal and healthy. They usually begin somewhere between the age of 2 and 4. And they happen because your child is actively processing and beginning to try to make sense out of the negative things that happen in their life. Like maybe they got in trouble. Maybe the goldfish died. Maybe they got in a fight with a friend at kindergarten, things like that. So if your child is having a nightmare, the way to figure out what's causing it is to ask them, what happened yesterday that upset you? And that's likely what caused the nightmare. One of the most common nightmares they get is some kind of monster, a witch, a monster, something like that. That's just the symbolic embodiment of whatever it is that's upsetting them.
Okay, let's have a little fun. We've talked about normal folks. Now let's talk about some celebrities. Celebrities have been very open about what they have dreamt about before in interviews and stuff. So I'm going to read you a celebrity and a real dream that they had, and you try to diagnose this. Okay, here we go. First up, Madonna. She dreamt of being attacked by a knife-wielding dwarf.
Yes. Okay, this is a recurring dream that she has had. Now, what this means, now I've not spoken with her about it, but in my professional assessment, this dream happens whenever she's dealing with criticism. That's what the knife is, the cutting remarks, the emotional wound she gets from the criticism. And the dwarf or the little person represents how it makes her feel belittled. And she's got a big old ego.
Yeah.
So when she gets criticism, she takes it to heart.
And that's manifested by the presence of the little person. There's a phrase I never thought I would say on my show. Okay, let's go to...
that happens when you talk to me.
Yeah, right? I love it. Let's go one more. We have time for one more. Taylor Swift. She has recurring dreams that she's being framed for murder.
I love this dream that she has because it tells us a lot, and it is recurring. Now, as we talked about earlier, murder in a dream is about a forced ending in your life. I think these dreams are connected to her breakups. the murder of her relationship, and she feels guilty in the dream. She's being framed because in real life she has some kind of inter dialogue with herself about how maybe I'm the reason why this relationship has been killed.
Oh, ring, ring goes the bell. Look at that.
I'm telling you.
Nobody's better than she is. Give it up for Lauri, everybody. You're going to want to learn more. Head to our website, LauriLoewenberg.com. Thank you, sweetie. We'll see you soon. When we come
Sweet
back, the
dreams.
burning questions you've always wondered about Fallon and me when we return. Back after this, everybody.